The Tower of London is a medieval castle, still standing, built in central London, situated next to the River Thames. It was used as a royal residence and on some occasions a prison. The Tower of London Castle was built in 1078 by William the Conqueror after his invasion of England in 1066. The castle had many additions in the medieval period by different monarchs. The castle consisted of 3 wards and many towers, the most famous of which, White Tower, was constructed in 1078 and is responsible for the castle's name. The peak of the tower reaches a staggering 27 metres, an incredibly large and intimidating height for the era. The innermost ward was directly south of the tower and stretched to what was then the edge of the River Thames. The innermost ward would have most likely have been filled with wooden buildings encroaching from the White Tower. These were then renovated between the 1220s and the 1230s. More towers in the innermost ward, such as Lanthorn and Wakefield, began construction in the same time period, around 1220. These 2 towers would have served the purpose to provide a royal residence for the king and queen, although at the beginning of construction, Henry III, the ruler at the time, was only 13 and not married. A hall also existed in the south of the ward. The inner ward was built by the ruling of Richard the Lionheart. A moat was dug and the north and east walls were created. The main entrance to the ward would have been to go through a guarded gatehouse to stop intruders. 13 towers were built on the walls to provide shooting positions for a potential enemy. These buildings were then later remodelled into the period of the House of Stuart. The Waterloo Barracks were also built in the inner ward, housing the crown jewels. The final ward, the outer ward, was built by Edward I. This narrow enclosure surrounded the castle. 3 towers were also built out along the walls for more protection. Bastions were made to provide a better spot for defence of the castle. Many battlements were also built along the walls to provide a wall for the soldiers to be protected from enemy fire. A moat was dug around the castle, leaving even more protection for the inhabitants. A water gate, now known as the Traitors' Gates, as it was used for prisoners to enter the castle prison in the 1600s, was also built for convenient entrance from the Thames. The castle was not only used for a royal residence and prison, but it was a fortress to manage London, as well as to show the dominance of the rulers over the peasant population, asserting the leader's power. Much of the castle complex is still standing today and can be visited as a major tourist attraction.